even more excited about when it comes to this year in 2023 are the changes. As you can see, if you're a regular viewer to PDC TV, this is not Red's Bar. This is Studio 36, another part of Butlin's Minehead, and this will be a new experience for every single player today.
Yeah, it certainly will. It's a new experience for Gian Van Veen, who is making his debut in the tournament. As mentioned, Robert Owen did have a really good run here in 2018, getting all the way to the semi-finals before falling short against Corey Cadby. And these are two players who have played pretty well in the Pro Tour so far without necessarily getting the right results.
Yeah, that's true. Robert Owen is someone who really does have a lot of confidence with his game. Played a lot of darts away from the PDC over the last couple of years, with success. I do apologise that we don't have graphics at the start of this match. We will get that sorted for you as soon as possible.
Gian, you require 161. 137. 43.
This would be a good settler for Gian Van Veen if he finds this early.
Game shot in the first leg. Gian Van Veen. Second leg, Gian to throw first. Game on.
Order of merit in the EU qualifiers. He was 9th out of 10 on that list, so he did just sneak in, but he's a player who we've seen a fair amount of, particularly towards the back end of 2022 and into the early part of this year. He's got a unique way of holding the dart and throwing the dart, hasn't he? He kind of, as he pulls it back, there's a lot of hand movement in there.
There is a lot of hand movement. A lot of twisting going on, but that may have something to do with the fact that he has struggled with a bit of dartitis in his young career. Doesn't struggle in getting the first maximum of the match right there. Taking control of this game with a 1-0 lead.
Gian, you require 140.
Usually that would get it done in most games like this. But Gian Van Veen, who misses the 140 on double 10, is showing Robert that he's here to play.
What you'll notice with
60. Gian, you require 20. Game shot in the second leg. Gian Van Veen. Third leg, Rob to throw first. Game on.
I was going to say, what you'll notice with Gian Van Veen and Robert Owen is that Robert Owen's nickname, Stack Attack, because he does like to stack the darts, and so does Gian. They've both got similar ways that their darts behave when they enter the board.
36.
I think Robert Owen's is a little bit more pronounced when you consider that the flights are actually facing the camera that is giving you this shot on the left-hand side. It shows you exactly what's going on, whereas Gian Van Veen, the flight is more to his right, so his dart is going in a bit straighter. He's currently 2-0 up in this quest for 6 legs, best of 11 contest in these first round matches. Again, we do apologise that we don't have graphics at this point. We will get that fixed as soon as possible, and we will keep you up to date with the scores in the legs.
We'll also keep you up to date with scores from boards 3 to 8, which is a real madhouse where there are 6 games of darts going consecutively, all of them in the first round for now, as Gian Van Veen whacks in a maximum.
Good crowd here in Studio 36 for so early in the morning. Robert Owen.
97.
Handily placed.
45.
But it's now double 16 for a 3-0 lead for Gian van Veen.
13.
Didn't get enough of a kick off that dart
64.
to give himself that 3-0 advantage.
64 the target for Robert Owen, which leaves double 16.
32.
Can't get himself on the board, so a bit of early double trouble for the Welshman.
32.
That's an ideal guide. But he can't go further away.
No score.
And that's exactly what's happened.
Rob, you require 32.
32 for Owen. To bring it back to 2 legs to 1 down. And he's going further away.
16.
It's just not going his way early on Friday afternoon
Gian,
or
you
Friday
require
morning.
32.
It's not often that we play in the morning, Dan.
No. That might be why we've got a few gremlins, people
Game shot.
not woken up
Third
properly,
leg.
but Gian van Veen has. There we go.
Full flag,
3-0
Gian throws
to the
first.
Dutchman.
Game on.
And he's halfway towards victory, and double 16, well, it's usually a real ally for most darts players, but it wasn't on that occasion, especially not for Robert Owen.
Now, this is a portion of the game where Gian van Veen has really got to keep his foot on Robert's throat. Not literally. This is not a contact sport, of course.
21.
But you must keep your foot down here. You can't relax. I can say from experience that even if you are 5-0 up, you aren't safe until you get the game disposed of. If you are making plans for this afternoon, you could, of course, watch the main stage, which will start in just over 35 minutes' time.
92.
You've got young Luke Littler, the 16-year-old, taking on Nick Fulwell, followed by Jelle Klaassen and Josh Payne up against each other, a heavyweight battle in round 1. You've got the likes of James Richardson, Thibaut
55.
Tricol, Lucas Weenig of Germany, Jeffrey Desvant. They're coming up here on board 2. But on PDC TV, you can also view boards 3 to 8.
83.
We hope you enjoy that innovation here this year.
Yep, every single dart that's going to be thrown in this tournament will be available to watch. Gian van Veen's just turned around there. I don't know if something came from the crowd that's just put him off slightly.
Early morning daggers for a fan.
60.
I'll tell you something, the attendance for stage 2 is unbelievable. To say that it's usually been quite an intimate atmosphere in the past. It's been ramped up here this weekend.
40.
Just wait until this place is packed out.
46.
Robert might just get his campaign up and running here. And you get the feeling that he might need this.
Robbie requires
He doesn't have to go
65.
25, but he may do it anyway. Gets it. Tops. That's a good guide for him.
Game
There it is.
7 of full
Perfectly
flag.
done by Stack Attack.
1-0.
First leg for him.
Yeah, just what Robert Owen will have required. Now Ross Bray, the referee, is just going to the side, I think, to have a word with one of the cameramen. Maybe that's what put Van Veen off.
Fifth leg, Rob to throw first. Game on.
Well, he did go 3-0 up, but he doesn't want to let things like that distract him, not only for himself, but for the fact that Robert Owen could look at him
60.
and think, even though you're 3-0 up, you're clearly not happy with something.
Usually you're more distracted when you're 3-0 down. That's what tends to happen to dart players and sports people for that matter.
100.
Van Veen has reached quarter-final on the Pro Tour this year, sandwiched in between 3 first-round defeats, but he has played some really good darts this year.
You're trying to tell me, Dan, that when he wins his first game, he's pretty dangerous. That's what you got to do today. You got to win multiple matches.
Yep, he'll want to be in the hat for round 4, which will take place this evening. The first 3 rounds will be played to a conclusion in this mega afternoon session.
Come on, this is your first UK Open on PDC TV, Dan. I've got to ask you a couple of questions.
Go on, then.
One, who do you think's going to win this tournament? And secondly, I want to know your favourite UK Open memory, whether it's Butlins, Minehead, Marshall Arena, Milton Keynes for that 1 year, which was 2 years ago during the pandemic, and in Bolton in the early years. What's your favourite memory?
81.
Well, firstly, on who's going to win, I think I'd have more success picking the lottery numbers. So I'm going to sit firmly on the fence with
Well
that
done.
question.
We've got some company,
Yep.
because that's what we've all said.
I think my favourite UK Open memory would be Nathan Aspinall's 170 to win it 4 years ago now. It was a lovely moment, his first major triumph a couple of months after he reached the semi-finals of the
99.
World Championships, and maybe there will have been a
January
few who would have thought,
96.
is that a flash in the pan? He certainly proved it wasn't, and the celebrations with his granddad as well, just put the cherry on top of the cake there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
56.
Van Veen is handily placed,
you
but now
require
Robert
80.
gets a chance to erase the gap a little bit more on double 10.
Double 5.
Game
There
shot
we
in
go.
the fifth leg.
Right in the corner.
Ramo.
Weird complexities
Six
about
leg
this
Gian
game
to
for
throw
me, because
first. Game on.
Van Veen has seemed to dominate it. But based on the third leg of the contest, Owen
80.
pretty much should be 3-2 up himself. And the momentum has definitely shifted in this game. The winner of this one will take on Scott Waits
82.
on board 7, if you're making plans to watch a lot of these guys potentially. And the winner of that game after that
134.
is certain Jim Williams is waiting in the penultimate match on stage 4. And there's a lot of people out there who think Jim Williams could have a good tournament.
60.
We were having a conversation last night, and I predicted Jim Williams for a bit of dark horsing in this tournament. He's had a lovely start to the season, hitting some really good numbers. So these players,
100.
do they, when they're playing in the first round, do some of them plot their route in their own mind in terms of predicting who they're going to play?
Some of them will, but they
100.
shouldn't. You can't look past your opponent. And when you look at the fixtures in the first, second and third rounds this afternoon, believe me, I have never
137.
seen a UK Open with so much talent in it like this year. People coming from the Challenge Tour, people coming from tour card status, which has been won over the last 6 weeks. People from the development tour, even the qualifiers from Riley's. You've even got James Richardson, who's got multiple years' experience as a qualifier. And you've now got Van Veen with a 4-2 lead. So that momentum shift has almost been stopped now by the tall young man from the Netherlands.
Yeah, I mentioned at the start that 158 players are here this weekend. There are a couple of tour card absentees. We won't be seeing Christian Perez or Corey Cadby, and David Pallett chose not to take up his invitation via the Challenge Tour, so it offers an opportunity for a man who we'll see in a couple of games' time in the Euro Tour specialist. He's becoming Lucas Veenig, getting a chance to play on UK soil. I'm sure Minehead will be different to Kiel last weekend in the mind of Veenig.
Fan base-wise, definitely. Unless a lot of Germans have made their way to Somerset, of course.
I think vibes-based, generally.
Yeah, Veenig played pretty well last week, but he wasn't good enough to beat Martin Schindler on Saturday night, was he? So much to look forward to throughout the course of the PDC year. It's about to get really busy with European Tour action in March in places like Leverkusen, and not to mention the 100th European Tour event in Riesa at the end of March. It's a bit of a celebration month in the PDC with that, and it being 20 years since the start of the UK Open, of course, because it started in 2003.
Won by a bloke called Taylor, I'm guessing.
Philip Douglas Taylor. Did he do anything? He did plenty. He's won more of these than any player. 5 UK Opens. Next on the all-time list, Michael van Gerwen with 3. Certain James Wade's got 3 as well, but he's never won at Minehead. Not yet, at least. And Van Veen hasn't won this game yet because it's now 4-3. Key 8th leg coming up to see whether it's a tied game or whether Van Veen will have a good 3 chances to get the job done. That will help
certainly will. And Gian van Veen, we've got to mention 9 darters at some point, because he is on one, as is Robert Owen. 15 9-darters in this event since it started in 2003, and 7 of them have come in the last 3 years. Van Veen's not going to add to that tally in this leg at least. It's a lovely last start. Now Robert Owen, over to you to see if you can prolong the tradition. Not with darts like that, you can't.
We've had a couple on stage too. Last year we had Michael Smith hitting one against Mensah Suljovic in a brilliant 19-leg contest. But maybe the one that most people remember, Johnny Clayton doing a Go Johnny Go on a 9-darter, beating Chris Dobie 10-8. That was back in 2020, around 4 weeks before most sports shut down for obvious reasons.
80. Gian require 81.
Treble 19. He doesn't have to go 12 and bull, and sensibly chooses
49.
not to. Robert Owen way back on 215.
From here on out, it's going to have to be some sort of blitz for Owen. He's going to have to find one of those 3-leg spells that is somewhere between maybe 39 and 42 darts. It may even have to be better, because Van Veen is striding towards round 2 with a really good performance here.
Well, he'll be really disappointed with this, Owen, considering that he has had a good run in this tournament before, albeit under pretty unique circumstances. It was a tough draw for him, Van Veen, and that's part of the reason why we've brought the coverage to you here on stage 2, because it looked a really good game on paper, as indeed does the next one between qualifier James Richardson and French dartist Thibaut Tricol. They'll be coming up after this game.
We do have some breaking news that the first person eliminated from the UK Open in 2023 is Andy Jenkins. The former World Championship semi-finalist has succumbed to new tour card holder Adam Warner by 6 legs to 2 over on board 5. That's a good performance from Adam, because that was not an easy draw.
No, it wasn't. Conor Heenahan has just beaten Daniel Lee by 6 legs to 2, and it's worth noting that prize money is awarded to get into the second round in the UK Open this year. Previously, guys that entered at this stage did have to win 2 games, as Van Veen, well, could he take out 350 in 6 darts?
You know how much I like that. Everybody knows I love a 350 in 6 because it never gets talked about. It's rarer than a 9-darter. Over to you, Gian van Veen.
170.
Well, this would be a special way to start the tournament, and it's on. Oh, well, maybe the first dart landed a little bit too high in the treble bed.
84.
He is someone that stacks, as I mentioned earlier, and stack attack is nowhere near, so Van Veen will have at least 1 match dart, you feel, at the 86 checkout. Just above. I think that's in, yeah. 7-7 then for a 6-3 victory.
72.
A wire bender there.
What we require 110.
The way that Owen's been playing, though, not sure I'd fancy this. And what do I know? Great checkout from Robert Owen. 110. And it's 5-4. We go on.
Let's keep going in this one. That was a great checkout, considering that Van Veen has already had that match start at 7-7, which was not far away.
135.
But when you have to take those 110 checkouts just to stay in the match, that tells me something about where his game is at. He is able to dig deep. But how much longer does he have his shovel? Because it's now up to Van Veen to serve it out. That 7-7 shot may have been a bonus to him.
59.
Now he'll feel it's time to cut the cord.
Well, Van Veen still does have the advantage in this contest. He's got it in this leg. And he'd love another maximum. And he gets one. Fist pump from the Dutchman. And Robert Owen is seeing his UK Open chances evaporate here.
How has that gone in? I'm amazed he stayed there. He could have gone to the 17s, but now it's 6 darts from one of our favourite numbers here of 127. And it's all about the layup. Really good, mature stuff from GVV. It's all about the acronyms in Dutch darts. Could it possibly be another title for MVG? You have to stay tuned throughout the coverage to see, but it's Van Veen for the win.
3 at double 16. So problems with it in leg 1, but we don't see any problems with it here because Gian van Veen has opened stage 2 of the UK Open with a 6-4 victory. A really good performance from the youngster. He's going to face Scott Waite in round 2. It was a performance peppered with lots of maximums and some decent finishing as well. Robert Owen will be very disappointed, and his good start to the season continues in a sense. He's playing some decent stuff, but just not getting the results for it. Van Veen